Hi, my name's Mason. I am with ERC Pros. I am actually the team lead for the CSMs or Client Success Managers. I have just been asked to go ahead and make this training about kind of canopy, what clients see, a little bit of how we as CSM see it on our end, and just some of the documents that we're needing to upload. It shouldn't be too long of a video, should be pretty quick. There's not a whole lot that's to it. We have really condensed everything down in Canopy, so it is a lot easier to actually know and understand what's going on and easier for the client to know what they're needing to do. So started off, what you're seeing right now is the Canopy login that the client would see on their end. So the client will just have this interface on here. It'll just show if they've uploaded any files already. It'll show right here. As you can see right now, there's nothing that is there. And then on the left side, it has our information on it. It'll say what account it's in. So if somebody does have multiple businesses, they can click on this and it'll actually have a pop-up that shows a list of all the other businesses. If they have like 6 or 7 or even just 2 of them, it'll show the different options on there. So they can click and choose which one to put it in. It's really just up to them. And yeah, that's all that there really is to this portion. So if a client is new and they haven't done anything yet in the account, it will show like this. It'll have the to-do list up here. This is typically the first task that we have in Canopy for every single one of our clients. When they actually click on it and open it, it's actually going to give them an entire list of what documents we're needing. So as you can see, there's profit and loss, January 2019 through December of 21. I just typically say 19, 20, and 21. The next thing is the 941s. Those are just the tax documents that business would fill out for their payroll for the company. We'll get into all of these in a little deeper later on in the video. But the next thing after that is payroll detail reports. Even has a specified range of what we need. March, so Q2 of 20 through December 31st of 21. Q4 of 21 isn't always needed. That will depend on if it's a startup business, so anything that opened after February 15th of 2020. Then we would be able to qualify them for the startup credit, and that will be where Q4 of 21 comes into play. The PPP forgiveness documents, that's just a lot of information that we need just in case if a business got the PPP. So that really will just play by a case-by-case basis. Health insurance for the clients if the company help paid for health insurance, business tax returns, and then most importantly, this very last one, a lot of clients tend to skip over this because it is just kind of the smallest one and it's down at the very bottom, but it is our questionnaire. And so there's a lot of different terms for it. The majority of people just call it the business questionnaire. You may see it labeled as BQ, but that's really all that is. I'll even click on this and so you can see exactly what they'll look at as soon as they click on that link. So that's all on here. There will be some clients that come through and will click this mark as complete once they upload documents. I recommend to just tell any of the clients that if they do go ahead and upload documents, don't have them come in here and mark this as complete, because as soon as they do and they back out of this entire thing, that task is gone. We can still see it on our end as CSMs, but the client will not be able to, and it's kind of a pain to get it back and trying to talk everybody through of how to get that task back in there. Otherwise, a lot of clients just get confused and it leads to a lot of frustration, and then rather just skip all those issues ahead of time. But that's really all that there is for the task. For the files, they will just come in here to upload any files. So this is where I will actually pull open some documents for us to use. So they can either just drag and place them in here like so. We will do the payroll first. So they can just drag it over in here and make sure that they actually hit save and give it time to load, because it'll do those three dots over here saying that it's trying to load. If somebody signs out or just closes the window altogether before that's done, it's not going to show up on either one of our ends. So we just need to make sure that they hit save and they wait until that is done loading, so that way it actually shows up on our end. And so it's right here. They can even rename it if they wish. And we'll just go in here and change the name of it. I'm just going to leave it as is. And you can the client can actually pull it up as well, just so they can see what we're seeing on our end. And so this is all fake information. This really doesn't have anything that is too confidential, but this is just a payroll detail report. So what we're really looking at is the name of the employee, social security number, whether that's the full or the last four, and then check dates. So each one of these has an actual check date on it. We don't really care if it's regular or overtime, doesn't really matter. We do look at the hours depending on the size of the company and gross amount. So I know a lot of clients will just upload documents and it just has the net pay on it. We do not want that. Net pay is nice, but with how we go through and calculate how much an employee got paid, we're looking for the gross amount, not after taxes and everything was taken out. So main things: check date, name, gross pay. And we will need that for just like what the task said, Q2 of 20 through Q4 of 2021, just to be on the safe side. So that's what that shows as. We'll go ahead and just do add. We'll do profit and loss, save. We'll look this up. And this is just profit and loss on here. So we're needing the entire 19, 20, and 21. If a business was open in the middle of those, then understandably we're not going to be able to get those other ones. But this is like the picture perfect example of what kind of profit and loss we need. It's broken down by quarter. That is one of the needed requirements for the profit and loss, because in order for us to qualify them for revenue reduction, we are comparing all the different quarters in 2019 to 20 and 21. So in order for us to do that, we need it broken down by quarters. This one, as you can see, each of the dates that are on here and what year it's for. Beautiful. We have the total income that we're needing that happened during that. Really don't care a whole lot for the net, but gross profit. This is just everything that we need. Like I said, picture perfect. Most of the profit and losses aren't going to look this good, but as long as we can get it broken down by quarter and have the actual gross profit or gross income, that's what we're needing. Now, moving on to the next one will be the 941s. There, a lot of clients will, and this will kind of depend on the client. So say, for example, if it's like a dairy or agriculture, then they have the 943, which is yearly. That's fine because they're just kind of the one-offs. The 941s that we're needing is just the tax document that they get from the IRS. It'll say 941 for whatever year. It'll have marked down on here on the right side what quarter it's for, and then all the information that we need on here. A lot of the information where we're basing how much they paid in like paid for payroll, and then kind of just how much they paid as a company, but that's really not what we're looking for. We just want to know how much they claim to the IRS that they paid for payroll. And so we'll really look at line 2 and line 5C. So if you hear the word variance, which does pop up quite frequently, that's just because we're looking at the 941s and then the payroll for that same quarter, and they're not matching. And that's just kind of where we're looking. And yeah, that's really all that there is for 941s. And then the last thing I shall show you is the business questionnaire. And so, yeah, even on the homepage, they'll see the files that they uploaded right here. So they can quickly just log in. If they are curious, if they forgot a document, they can see it all right here. But here is what the business questionnaire looks like. It's just all the information that the owner will have. It's really just name of business, ownerships, if there's any relatives, if they got the PPP, it'll ask for that information. And it's just a lot of business questions that they should easily be able to fill out. And once they go through and actually fill everything out on this first page, they'll hit next. It won't let me because I'm not putting in anything. But once they put that in, there is a second page that is just all governmental order questions. The more detailed, the better. That way, we can try and qualify them for even more of a credit, because every business has their own specific situations that each governmental order would have affected either more or less. And so the more detailed that we get, the better. That way we can try and actually qualify them for more of a credit when we are going through and doing the governmental orders review. But that's pretty much it. That's all that they see on their end. Just a little bit on our end. It just looks like this. There's nothing too interesting. Really, only the CSMs and the calculators will see any of this, but we'll see all the tasks that is for the client, the recent files that were uploaded, and we just have our folders that are set in there. Client doesn't see any of these folders. We just have it on there so we can stay organized on our end. We get to see how recent they actually logged in and their personal information. So not a whole lot. It's just really for us on our end so we can kind of keep organized. But that is all.